everyone, I'm Jonas.
And I'm Lewis.
And welcome to JL Pokémon.
And welcome to another episode of Cards of the Week. And today we thought we'd change it up a little. We have some trainers to look at. I have Professor's Research, or more specifically, just discard, draw 7 cards in general.
We don't have Professor's Oak, which Lewis says is an actual card, but I don't believe him.
I think it is an actual card. So I'm very excited to talk about these cards. They've had a big influence on the game, and they're all around super awesome, and they have been around for a long time as well. So what do you have?
I have the amazing N and the amazing Marnie. So, yeah.
Yeah, he has 2 different cards because,
I mean, there is N and there's Marnie, and they practically both do the same thing, but they're completely different at the same time.
Also, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Ring that bell!
Ring the bell! Make sure to ring the bell to get notified when new videos get uploaded. Also, make sure to follow our Twitter at JL_PKMN. PKMN. You got a little special little thing right here that gives you the little tag or whatever. So you can't click on it, but there it is. There is a link in the description to that as well. So how about we get straight into our cards? Let's start with my cards first. I'll catch you guys.
Also, stay tuned for this week's video.
Right, stay tuned for this week's opening. We got something very, very awesome planned. And we are super excited. We're trying out something new, and I'm very, very excited. So make sure to stay tuned for that. So how about we get into my cards? Catch you guys in a second. Alright guys, let's talk about Professor's Research
slash Juniper
slash Sycamore slash all the other cards.
Yep.
So how about we start with our most recent Juniper, or most recent research I should say, Professor's Research Juniper. This came out in the most recent set,
Shining Fates.
So make sure to check out our last 2 opening videos where we opened Shining Fates, so that's pretty awesome. And the text on it is the same on every single card. It is discard your hand, draw 7 cards.
That means you can have 12 of these cards in the same deck.
Oh, also, yes, you can't have, if you're playing Expanded, you cannot play Research, Juniper, Professor's Research, Magnolia, and Sycamore in all the same deck, because that would be broken. So that's why that doesn't happen. So now you might ask, why would I want to discard my hand? Right, so when you discard your hand, it gives you more options to draw newer cards.
Like say you have zero cards in
your hand. If you had 0 cards in your hand, that's even better. That's just a free draw 7. That's really good. It just gives you a fresh hand. Also, say you got some garbage card that you don't need anymore, especially in stuff like Mad Party, where you could just discard a ton of Mad Partiers. That's what they're called, Mad Partiers. It's kind of a stupid name. That's what they're called.
That's the stupidest name ever.
So if you have a ton of Mad Partiers in your hand, then you can research and just dump them all into the discard so you can get more damage off. It also is useful for thinning, which I've talked about before, where you can just get rid of old cards and bring in some new ones, so you just get a lot more cards. That's the advantage between Juniper and N. So if we're about to do a little clash here, then I think Juniper would come out on top because you can. Actually, in certain situations, Juniper is definitely the better choice. But in some situations, N is
way better, actually. So I think N is actually way better.
This is actually really cool artwork. I might as well talk about the artwork because all these cards say the same thing. And that's basically, you just got Juniper in her lab, and she got a ton of computers and books and ferns behind her, and a little
books. Where's the books?
The books right there.
Oh, and we got monitors.
Like ferns and like a little capsule thing.
I don't think the capsule's tiny. I think it's big.
Oh, it's a big capsule thing. Alright, how about we talk about the next card, which is Professor's Research Magnolia.
Juniper's better than Magnolia.
Juniper's way better than Magnolia. Magnolia came out in the Sword and Shield base set and the Champion's Path set, which is very interesting. We got a reprint of that. I'm hoping, like Sycamore and Juniper, we do get reprints of Research, because right now we have no planned researches for Rotation Mark E, so I really hope we do get some Rotation Mark E researches.
Watch now. They're going to make Professor's Research Oaks edition.
That would be actually pretty awesome. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, because I don't think they've ever made a Professor Oaks. Just because you didn't draw 7. I know they made a Professor Oak before. Just not discard your hand and draw 7.
In a sec. All right,
I don't think they have.
The next card that got released was, well, no, we're going backwards. So the card before Magnolia was Professor Sycamore. Now, I've seen Professor Sycamore so many times because of the X and Y era, and I honestly played it a lot because I played a lot, and not a lot, but I played near the end of the X and Y era where all those X and Y trainers were very popular to play.
My XY trainers.
No one played the Sun and Moon trainers, so...
Except, like...
except maybe, like, Mallow.
Oh, yeah.
And, so, Sycamore's there. He got his arms out. He's like, yo, what's going on?
Yo, what's up?
He got the big window in the background. He got the desk. He got some posters. This poster has Sigilif and Petalil on it. And he got some big old pillars back there, which is super awesome. He just... welcoming arms, like, yo,
what's up?
What's going on? That's what he's like. And so for our final card that I actually have is Professor Juniper. Now this was the first time we've ever saw discard your hand, draw 7 cards as a supporter card, which was super cool. It came out first in the black and white base set. And also, I forgot to mention that Sycamore also came out in a ton of other XY sets like Phantom Forces and Breakpoint. It also came out as an alternate art in a Rayquaza Battle League deck, I'm pretty sure. So that was pretty cool, and it had a pretty cool artwork on it. It also got a reprint in Steam Siege, where it was a full art, so that was pretty cool.
We had that, but this guy traded
it. Yeah, we had it, but I traded it because Sycamore was being rotated, so I was like, well, might as well get a good trade for Sycamore, right, and get some new standard cards.
But he didn't realize that, of course, they had to reprint it. Like, obviously, why wouldn't they have?
Yeah. Also, with Juniper, came out in the black and white base set. I think I already mentioned that. But like Sycamore, and I'm pretty sure Research is also going to do this, it got a lot of reprints, like Dark Explorers had a reprint. And a lot of these reprints for Juniper also had a lot of different artworks, which is really cool. And I'm glad they came out with different artworks. I know Juniper came out in Dark Explorers, and I think
Sword Shield, Shiny Fates.
Whatever. And I think it also might have come out in Legendary Treasures, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, all around, Juniper is super awesome. All the supporter variants of Discard Your Hand, Draw 7 cards are very awesome. Now, time to talk about the most broken trainer to ever have Discard Your Hand, Draw 7 on it, Professor Oak. From the base set. I obviously don't have it because I didn't open very many base set.
We have base set Vulpix.
Have base set Vulpix.
That's like practically the only base set card we have.
Now, you might be wondering, now what's the difference between Professor Oak and Professor Juniper, Sycamore, Research? Now, it's because back then you could play as many trainer cards from your hand as you wanted. There was no difference between supporters, items, and tools, and stadiums. There was no difference. So what you could do is that, and you also had other cards too to get cards out of your discard. You could just play, oh, my hand sucks, Oak. Oh, my hand sucks, Oak. Oh, my hand sucks, Oak. You can do that 4 times.
You'll deck that.
Oh yeah, you probably will deck out, but you won't deck out right away. But you could just thin. You could thin. You can get so many cards so quickly, which was absolutely broken. That's why the first rotation happened mostly. Not only because of Oak, but also because of stuff like super energy removal and stuff, and energy removal. So a lot of basic cards were just broken, so that's why the first rotation happened.
Especially the basic Charizard.
That wasn't very good at all.
Exactly.
And so that's pretty much it. That's all the cards that I really need to talk about for Discard Your Hand, Draw 7 cards. And that's pretty much the history of them and when they've been played. And oh, I forgot to mention that Research and all of these cards were played in every deck. Like, no exceptions. Pretty much every deck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except maybe Welder decks would play Welder and not Research.
Welder decks are annoying.
But sometimes Welder decks even run Research. That's how good it is. Even as a supporter. So that's pretty much it for Juniper and all of them. So how about we talk about Marnie and N with Jonas?
Let's talk about Marnie and N. N made its first debut in Noble Victories Black and White. And Marnie made its first debut in Sword and Shield Base.
Base set Sword and Shield, yeah.
And then made another appearance in Champion's Path. Yep. And
the different sets that N appeared in, if I recall correctly, N came out in Noble Victories, and then it also came out in Dark Explorers,
and
which was that was it. Dark Explorers was a cool artwork, and it also came out as a black and white promo.
We have the promo.
This came out in one of those Battle League decks, which is
probably
cool. And we managed to get our hands on that. I don't even know how we got it.
Yeah, who knows?
And then Marnie, like Jonas said, came out in Champion's Path and Sword and Shield base set, so that's pretty cool.
N and Marnie have been in practically every single deck on planet Earth.
And not only just N and Marnie, also other disruption cards like Judge, which made his which came out in I'm pretty sure it came out in around
Lost Thunder?
No, it was not
Celestial Storm?
No.
I don't know.
It came out in, I think, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, one of those Heart Gold, Soul Silver sets. But it also could have came out before that. I'm not 100% sure. But I know Judge was also very popular. Mostly, these cards are mostly meant for disruption. And same with also stuff like Peaking Red Card, and Reset Stamp are all very similar to these cards. We actually have a Reset Stamp here.
Is Boss's Order?
Reset Stamp actually might be in this deck, if I recall correctly. Yes, we do. Yep. We have a Reset Stamp right here.
Very annoying.
Reset Stamp is also very similar to N, and how about we read N? Each player shuffles his or her hand into his or her deck. Then each player draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards.
Now, Marnie is a little bit better than N. Unless your opponent has one prize, and you have 6, and you have one card in your hand, and your opponent has 20. Let's just say 20. Then
each player shuffles their hand, and then puts it at the bottom of your deck. Then you draw 5, and your opponent draws 4.
Now, you cannot play Marnie if your opponent has no cards, and Marnie is your only card in your hand.
I don't know why, but that's a really weird wording. But
Although it makes sense.
If your opponent has no cards, and Marnie is your last card, you can't play it. Because it says right here, if either player put any cards at the bottom of the deck, you draw 5 cards and your opponent draws 4. So if each player didn't have cards to put at the bottom of their deck, then you can't play it, which is pretty interesting. And also, Reset Stamp is very similar to N, except it only applies to your opponent, so you get to keep your hand.
That's really good.
Yeah. So your opponent shuffles their hand to your deck, then draws a card for each of the remaining prize cards.
This artwork is pretty weird.
Yeah, this is the alternate artwork. We didn't get any. We barely opened any Unified Minds.
One pack.
We opened maybe a couple packs when it first came out, and then we opened some in an earlier video. So that was pretty cool. And we got these from the Trainer Toolkit, so it's the alternate art version of it. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so there's just lots of disruption, pretty much. Lots of different ways that they can be played. And also came out in Fates Collide. I forgot to mention that. That's why it became legal in a lot of X and Y decks. So that's why N was played throughout that era of cards. So that's pretty awesome. And that's pretty much it for N. I mean, and Marnie, there's not really much to talk about them for disruption wise. Oh, I forgot to mention Judge does just shuffle. Each player shuffles their hand to your deck and draws 4.
It's okay.
So, very similar to Marnie. Very similar to Marnie, but not quite.
Yeah.
You don't get to put cards at the bottom of your deck. You shuffle them. And also, I forgot to mention that Marnie is very interesting because it puts them at the bottom of your deck. So if your opponent has good cards, then they're not drawing them. It's impossible for them to draw that card in their opening, even if they research or something. But that's why they try to shuffle their hand. So if they get a quick ball or something, they'll try to play that so that they can try to get those cards back into their deck. Because if they're at the bottom, they're not getting them anytime soon unless you have.
So yeah, if you have to get lucky and draw something different.
Imagine having Looker.
Yeah, imagine.
So that's pretty much interesting. So that's pretty much it for Marnie and N. There isn't really much to talk about with them. And they're all around pretty awesome cards, and they've seen a lot of competitive play. So that's pretty much it with them. So how about we get right into the outro of this video. Catch you guys in a second.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We 100% enjoyed making it, so we hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Ding-a-ling-a-long.
So you get notified when new videos get uploaded.
And make sure to check out our Twitter at JL_Pokémon
for updates about the channel and stuff we're doing. So make sure to check that out. So that's pretty much it for the video. We hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and we will catch you guys in the next one, where we're going to be opening something very
insane,
very awesome that I'm super hyped for.
Same.
So make sure to stay tuned for that. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.